Put your hand up if you think Molly is a gaslighting, compulsive lying bitch bag. Last night seen the return of Arabella from season 5, and apparently she's also been with Toby. Somebody please tell me, what do these young, attractive women see in Toby? Like, Georgia S is stunning, Arabella is attractive obviously, but there's nothing nice about Toby. His personality isn't good, he doesn't look good, he's a cocky wee fuck. Like, let me know in the comments, do you find him attractive and why? Callum was trying to have a conversation with Molly, and he was saying what's going on between us, like, you've not come for a chat or anything, and she's like, oh, I've not found a reason to come for a chat. Now, he picked her on the first night that they went into the house, and then even though she basically laughed in his face and basically told him that she wasn't interested and that she was open and everything, then she turned round and picked him in the last recoupling, totally sending him mixed signals. So all he was saying was, like, are you going to come and ask me to chat? Like, he wants to know that she's interested. He doesn't want to force her into getting back with him if she's not ready. And she's like, oh, I've had this discussion. Oh, I've told you this. Oh, I've explained this. The problem is that she wants him to do all the chasing and she doesn't want to do any of the work because she wants him to run after her like a fucking puppy dog. She is literally saying to him, oh, keep your options open, and saying to Georgia S, oh, if you like him, go for it. It's fine, like, that's what we're in here for. But then she goes away and cries about it when she thinks that he's going to be talking to somebody else. And she's like, oh, if he likes me, then he can put in the work, he can graft for me. Like, stop being a fucking awkward wee cunt. She's the one giving him mixed signals and telling him that she's open and he's open, and it's fine to go and talk to other people. And then she stormed off in a huff. And then when Josh was saying to her about it, she's like, oh, I didn't storm off. Oh, I just walked away. She fucking stormed off. She's a compulsive liar. The more she speaks, the more I'm like, she is toxic. She's one of these women who treats a man a certain way, says things to a man, and then twists it round when she's talking to her wee pals, and they'll be like, oh, men, oh, typical men, oh, you can do better, babe. No, he can fucking do better. She is a psychopath. I'm not saying for 1 second that he's all innocent, because when she was talking about the relationship the other day, and she was saying, oh, he never gave me compliments, he never done all this stuff that he's trying to do now, and they obviously had problems, but he was trying to be vulnerable in front of people, and he was trying to have a chat with her and say, like, are you still interested in me? Do you think that we could maybe get back together? Or are you attracted to me? And she laughed right in his face in front of everybody and made him look like a dick. And she's so toxic. And the worst it is, she's blatantly trying to gaslight him, and she's doing it on TV. And she's not even thinking twice about it. Like, we can actually see what she's doing. She's bad news. He needs to get away from her as soon as possible. She seems like the sort of lassie that would just make up stories and then think people will believe it because she's such a sweet, innocent woman. Chris was having a chat with Arabella, and by no means did I fancy Chris, but I have to admit he's got amazing hair, and last night when he was wearing that eyeliner, I thought, do you know what? He is hot with eyeliner. Listen, I love a man in eyeliner. But then when Hannah says to him, oh, you look good, babe, you look like Johnny Depp, I thought maybe the next thing she should have surgery on is her eyes. I've made it clear in the past that I really like Mitch, but after tonight's episode, I must admit I'm starting to go off him, because he was chatting about Arabella, and the way he just chats about everybody, gives them the same lines, thinking that women are not going to talk to each other. And then, as I mentioned a few days ago, he was taking people to the side and he's like, you're my number one, and he was just feeding them all the same crap. And I felt really bad for Liberty, because even though they're open, Liberty seems like such a genuine, nice person who's really in there to find somebody. And at times I think that Mitch is really looking for somebody, but after last night's episode, I'm just not even sure what's going on. Because when Liberty went to talk to Demi and she says, oh, he says I'm still his number one, and Demi was like, oh, he told me that the other night before the recoupling. And then when Liberty went up and questioned him about it, he laughed. He was like, oh shit, like, this isn't a joke, Mitch. You're playing with people's feelings. This lassie actually likes you. And Liberty is really good looking, right? And it's not all about looks, but she just seems like such a nice person. And he thinks that this is just a game. It's not nice to watch people's feelings get hurt, and I understand that they're still open or whatever, but it's one thing to still be open and go and have chats with people. It's quite another when you're taking them all to the side and telling them all the same shit, fucking line after line, exactly the same. Arabella and Georgia S were talking about their history with Toby, and obviously they were feeling quite awkward, But ever since Toby told Georgia S that he was opened and he wanted to go and speak to other people, she's obviously been really hurt, which I kind of think that she is exaggerating, considering she was the one who said she was open as well. You can't be open and be closed at the same time. I feel like she was sending him mixed signals, even though I absolutely can't stand him. But if you're open, and that means that you can go and chat to other people, but then when he does chat to other people, she goes in a huff. But to be honest, I hope she does totally go in a huff and just leave him behind, because she's too good for him. Chris took Arabella up to the terrace for another chat, and while I appreciate that he's got like a funny sense of humour and he tries to be like banter and stuff like that, that's one thing, but I feel like there's just too much of that. Like, he's sitting trying to get to know her and stuff, but it's like banter, 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 banter. Like, there can't be a serious conversation at any point, and that's all fine and well when you're getting to know somebody, but later down the line, you've got to be times where it's not all about banter and you can actually have a conversation. I don't know, I feel as if it's just too much. He needs to tone it down slightly. Georgia S was telling Molly that she would be interested in Callum if she wasn't in the house, and she's like, "Oh, go for it, babe, it's fine." Then she was greeting about it later, but I 100% hope that Georgia S gets with Callum, because the two of them need to split up for the couples that they're in. It's too toxic and it's just so bad. But let me know in the comments what you thought of last night's episode. Please tell me, why does anybody fancy Toby? Like, what's the deal?